Hello, my biddies. How are you? I had food on me. So much for being prepared, right? It's the worst thing that's happened to me today. Yeah, I'm having a pretty good day. I got up, I got out early enough for me. I got the stuff I needed, except for a couple things, which is, I mean, it's Aldi, so they're always going to have things that are missing, always. Um, what else happened? Got to Aldi, had a cart with a quarter in it already, so I didn't have to use my quarter and fight with it. Also, when I left, I got to pawn it off on somebody else, so I didn't have to fight with it. Oh, I didn't even have to walk up back up to the always the way to the door. He thought I was doing him a favor. Joke's on him. It's a very, very elderly couple. He was getting his wife out of the car. I don't think she was doing well. Um, let's see what else. Oh, my bill. I remembered to take my bags in with me. So I never remembered to take the bags in with me. And my bill was exactly $77. So it's been a good day. How is your day going? I hope your day's going well. Let me know in the chat. If you're not here during the chat, which we prefer, we like to chat. Let me know in the comments. Um, Another thing, I didn't have to replace any of the. Well, I had to replace one of the um, reads with something else, but that was because we already read it, not because it was not there. See, it's a very good day today. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, even though it's nasty and raining, and was behind a truck that had just come off the dirt part of the road. So now my car's all dirty, but it's okay. It's okay. It's an old car. Nobody cares. My husband might care, but nobody really cares. Nobody cares. Oh, so I hope your day is going as well as mine. Probably won't continue, but that's okay. Um, so I don't have, well, bad news. Doing my work last night, shame on me. I don't know what happened. It just didn't happen for some reason. Hello, ADD. That's what happens. So I'll have it for you tomorrow, hopefully. I don't have anything pressing to do tonight, this afternoon, so I'll probably write it up tonight. And then taking Friday off because it's the first. I take all the firsts off. Um, and then I'm gonna take next week off too, because I need a break. I got some stuffs to do. So it'll be fun. Be a fun time in the neighborhood. So I guess we'll get right into Reddit reads. So we don't have any reality TV or any other comments other than how good my day's going so far. It's got to crash at some point, right? Can't continue. I mean, I remember to take my bags into the store. Who does that? Probably you, but not me. First, we have Murdered by Words, and it's entitled "But the Democrats." It's uh, it's a meme, of course. I think these are supposed to be memes. The Democrats are the ones who leaked the information flight to the nuclear sites and claim they should be prosecuted. Um, that's from Why is it unstable? Why is it always telling me it's unstable to do this? If you can hear me, it's telling me I'm unstable and it's trying to reconnect. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Um, I guess I'll start over. The Democrats are the ones who leaked the information on the flight to the nuclear sites in Iran, They should be prosecuted. And Turnbull says, weird accusation considering the White House was bragging last week that it hadn't breached a cool story. How can you leak something that you don't know about? That is what that's saying. And that is a good question. Next week's going to be wild. Next month, the murder by words are going to be wild, considering what's going on right now. Because yeah, because on the first I'll do all of March's. That's gonna or all of April's. That's gonna be wild. It's gonna be wild, people. It's gonna be wild. Oh, I can't wait. It's gonna be the best murder by words ever. Just a girl said is a top rated comment, and she says, "How when the only two people making the decisions are Donald and Netanyahu?" Exactly. Dender Assassin says clearly Putin's got other concerns, so hasn't been able to meet with Krasnov to supply new orders. Um, okay, Builder says I'm not convinced Trump is making any real decisions. Dude just gets handed the meat agenda from his Heritage Foundation handlers and the like. He'll go off script, but then get dragged right back onto it, which is kind of true, I think. I don't think he knows what's going on anymore. He doesn't seem to be all. He can't even recognize his wife. I mean, I'm just saying. I'm not good at faces, but he's supposed to be good at faces. He's supposed to be this big charismatic entrepreneur who meets all kind knows all kinds of people, but maybe he's not good at faces, considering he didn't know to recognize his ex-wife in pictures either. I don't know. Standard March says every accusation is a confession, every wanging one, and that's what I say. Every time they accuse somebody else of doing something, it's because they're doing it themselves. I don't know whether it's a tactic or whether they just assume other people are doing exactly what they're doing because they're doing it. Their top rated comment is from Frotz, and they say they should be prosecuted. Is weird considering his tight grip on the DOJ. Who does he think he's preventing that? Who does he think is preventing that? He's just looking. I just want to say 1001 Arabian Nights. I tried to look this up the other day to have the kids watch it and could not find it anywhere. Said it was on Tubi, it was not. So I don't know where it went, but I can't find it. I don't know. Martha says that the Arches National Park is disappointing. There are so many positive reviews, mine must be an exception. Probably. We signed up for the Sunset Backcountry Tour and thought it was a bit pricey. Well, that's not on the park, honey. These people that are blaming tour stuff on the park, it's not on the park. That's a tour company, and they get to pay. They get to charge what they want. They're a business. They're not in any way connected to the government. We signed up for the Sunset Backcountry Tour and thought was a bit pricey. Though it was a bit pricey, we thought this would be a great trip. When we got into the car, the guide introduced himself and found out the other group was going to do another trip the following day. The conversation switched to maybe we should do a different route so you can see more arches. The woman in the front was very vocal, and we changed the trio. We drove around the block black to for 3 hours for 200. I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. Where I was about ready to lose it was when we spent 20 minutes for cell service. Who needs cell service in the canyon? She was trying to call the company to change her trip. Hello. There are other people on this tour. I kept my mouth shut because I would have lost my top and regretted it later. Then the conversation went to how foreign tourists are rude, mentioned certain nationalities, and I didn't know how to tip. I did forget to mention he talked to us about 5 minutes about tips. Advice. People sign up, sir, a certain trip. That's the trip. I don't change it. If I wanted to drive back around blacktop. I could have done that in my own car. Where did she think she was gonna go? Where did she think she was gonna go? I could have stayed at locations for as long as I wanted. Also, guides need to be aware of everyone. There should have been suggested seats to be exchanged periodically, so my also 6 foot adult son wouldn't have to sit cramped because behind the seat was all the way back. You choose your seat when you get in. That's your seat for the day. None of us want to change. Sorry. Definitely not what we signed up for. Also, not on the park. While you're giving a one-star review to a national park, you should be giving a one-star review to the tour company. You don't even mention what tour company it is. How are we supposed to avoid this tour company? Because there's more than one tour company out there. There's more than one. I don't get it. Do not get it. Why is she giving the park a one-star review? Yeah, I gotta sign up with TripAdvisor to do that. I was gonna flag it. It's not a good review. It's not even about the park. They just said nothing about the park at all. Nothing. That's wild. It's wild. People crazy. Next we have traumatizing backs, and it is entitled "They Call Me Every 6 months about the car that ruined my life. I think I ruined their day enough to finally stop it." Okay. It's it's Flair justified a-hole. I always liked the sub, but I never thought I'd be in a position to have my own experience until this morning. Might actually be what turned my crappy Monday around. May 2023, I bought my first car. It was a used 2019 Hyundai from a well-known dealership in Dallas. A little more than I wanted to spend, but I was naive and had been told by my dad and husband to negotiate the price, only to discover that apparently doesn't happen anymore. And sticker is sticker is sticker. Okay, come on. 4 weeks later, I'm driving home on my busy street, 40 miles an hour. A car pulls directly in front of me, and I am unable to stop from T-boning directly into them, totaling my car entirely. Oh, that sucks. 4 weeks. 4 weeks. That's all she had, the car. It may be a guy, to be honest. It reads like a girl. Despite quick conclusion of my 0% at fault, both the police reports and our insurances, the other driver's insurance puts up a fight over paying for my total car and my medical care from the advanced whiplash, and that it takes two another 2.5 years for the lawsuit to finally come out in my favor. Why were you? I mean, where I live, the insurance just pays you. My husband was in not well, not exactly, but similar ish accident last year. Um, our insurance paid us out, and then their insurance paid us more. Their insurance paid us $2,500 on top of everything to take care of the medical that he never had because he put in a medical claim because whiplash can show up a couple days later. So he put in medical just in case, and they paid us off. He never went to the doctor for it because he has a good car, Subaru. I'm telling you, if you want to get in an accident, get Subaru. um, and even then, what I won was just enough to cover loan, attorney fees, and medical bills. Poor thing. Should have went for pain and suffering. Uh, mental abuse. I I don't understand why her see in my state the insurance takes care of all of that. If like he got in the accident, they paid us all the money. It took a few weeks, but that's to be expected. And then they went after the other insurance company. That's how it should work. You pay insurance for a reason. I haven't been able to afford to purchase a car since, so all this to say, it's been a raw topic for me. In the last 3 years, this dealership has called me at least every 6 months or so to either offer me services for the car or offers to trade it in every time. I let him know the car was totaled, even had them send the new license plates to my attorney's office for the lawsuit. That's how fresh this was. They always seem apologetic and tell me they've made a note in my file so that it doesn't happen again. Clearly, someone is lying as they continue to call me. This morning was real bad timing as I'm having a crappy time with work and exhausted from this dealership again. This just so ha- this just so happened so below is our conversation. Hi, the injured bear. Blank calling from fake name, but close enough because actually weighing them. Wax Woolly of Dallas. We were just wondering if you still had that 2019 Hyundai. Well, I have the front bumper, and I told you all it was totaled 3 years ago, right after I bought it. Oh, sorry to hear that. What are you driving now? A 2011 Honda that I had to pour all my savings into to make it drivable again. Well, if you'd like to bring that in for appraisal, stop. No. The hell that experience put me through left me unable to purchase any newer car in this market, much less be able to afford the payments. Now I'm much worse off in a financial place than when I got that car. I'm not interested because I cannot. So thanks, but no thanks. Now please take me off your call list about that car. I hate having to relive it every time you guys call and remind me. I'm so sorry. That's the worst luck. I will make sure you're off the list this time. I'm so sorry to have bothered. Have a wonderful rest of your week. He seemed genuinely mortified, which gave me a little bit of evil joy that maybe this time I'll never hear from them again. But as always, I guess I'll find out if it worked in 6 months. Happy Monday. What I would do after this happened the second time was go in there. Go in there and be a Karen. This is the type of thing that you need to be a Karen about. Like, I asked you to take me off this list. You are traumatizing me every time you call me about this dumb car that I only had a month before it got smushed to bits. Actually, if she got paid off for the car, shouldn't she be able to buy another car? You would think. She should have been saving all this time. Soldier Perry says, remind me in 6 months, top rated comment. Injured Bear says, see you then. The Injured Bear is the OP. Says, see you then. Somebody asked if they could block the number, and she says they call from different numbers, so that doesn't help. Does not help. Sparkly says, hi, OP, just an FYI. Yes, dealerships still do negotiate prices. I'm certain the dealership was gaslighting you because one, you're a woman, and two, a new buyer. I'm a woman. I have negotiated every single sale, uh, every single car I've purchased, both new and used. Walked out of a dealership when purchasing a new car for my daughter. The salesman came running out to our car after we left the office to meet my price. Good luck. He got an upgrade to the next, to the highest for that car, um, trim line for the price of the lower trim line. There's only two trim lines. But he negotiated. I was proud of him. He did good. He got a deal that even his dad would be proud of what he said. Ray Ed says, the secret to negotiations, regardless of who you are, always be willing to stand up and walk out the door if they're not willing to listen to you. The only way they'll let you go is if you really are being unreasonable. Also agree that being a woman has you starting at a deficit with a dealer. Had an eye-opening experience about 10 to 15 years ago to clue this man in on how bad it was. I was dating a lady with a purple Dodge Charger. Only car I ever drove that I felt was laughing at me. She wasn't a gearhead by any means, but she knew just as much, if not more, about cars that I did at the time. She was having issues with it starting and also needed an oil change, so I offered to take it in for her. I was unemployed and had nothing better to do than to wait at the dealership for her, so she agreed. Oil change happened, no issues. They couldn't find anything wrong with getting it started until it was time for them to bring it around for me to take home. Waiting. Where's the car? Sir, we're trying to bring your car around, but it seems like we can't get started. Normally that would irritate me, but given the situation, I was quite happy they were seeing the issue now. They still couldn't figure out what was going on, but they did get it started. They also gave me some tricks to get it started if it happened again. Great. Passed those tricks on to the girlfriend and she exploded. Those sorry mother effers, I'm sure is what she said. They've had that car in there 3 times and just got a pat on the head and told there's nothing wrong. You take it in one time and they tell you everything. That was my first exposure to sexism in action, but wait, there's more. Flash, flash forward about 5 years, and we've broken up for 4 years at that point. My phone rings. It's an automated message from the Dodge dealership that the recall work on my car is complete and it's ready for pickup. Confused me as the only Dodge I've ever known was a 77 Aspen I got rid of in 1988. This was from 2017. I called them back and said my 2010 Challenger was ready for pickup. My ex bought that car from that dealership and had taken it there for service and repairs countless times, while I took it in once 5 years back. And somehow they have my name and number as the registered owner of that car. Thankfully, I still had my ex's number in my phone so I could actually let her know that her A, let her know that her car was ready, and B, inform the dealership they might want to talk to the actual owner as opposed to the random ex-boyfriend. Staggers the imagination. Yeah, because it's a guy. Oh, look, there's two names. Must be the guy's car. Because girls can't possibly own a car. Women can't possibly own cars. I keep telling my husband this stuff. He does not believe me. Ever. Never believes me. Their top rated comment is from Accident Capable. And they say, I don't know what's so hard about fixing someone's file when they tell you this. I used to work in the business office of a dealership making appraisal calls like that. Once I got an old lady asking if her husband still owned his Yukon. She tearfully said he passed away a year ago and she hated getting these calls because it made her relive the pain. Um, I immediately apologized and promised I would update her file. When I looked at the notes after the call, I saw others had written that she didn't have that vehicle anymore. So you have the time to write this note, but not enough to remove it from remove the file from follow up. I made another note explaining in detail her husband was dead and that we were hurting her emotionally by continuously calling her. I marked the file as lost and even deleted her phone number entirely. I wanted to make sure she never heard from us again. And OP says, You're a good one. I wish more were like you. Yeah. Yeah. I've been on the making end of phone calls of people whose partners have passed. It's not fun when you don't know. I was never told. Should have been a note. Should have been a note, but there wasn't. Next is what should I do? And it is entitled Is it weird that I still have a post of me and my ex on my Insta after breaking up? I don't think so. Here's the thing about exes. They're still part of your life. They're a part of your past, but they're still part of your life, your overall life. Um, oh, the pictures are really cute too. Around Halloween, that's so adorable. Well, he knows who he is, so unless he was tagged or something. Title sounds questionable, I know, but me and my ex have been broken up for a couple of months. It was amicable with no hard feelings, though I noticed he recently unfollowed me and I did the same a couple of days later. Uh, Near Halloween, we did a ghost photo shoot. Both posted the results to our Insta accounts separately because they were cute. This is the first time I've ever done one like that, and even after breaking up, I thought they were cute and fun and might not fully look like the couple pics, so I kept them. In the pics, we're covered in bed sheets with sunglasses on, so it doesn't actually show our faces or anything. But basically, it's weird. Is it weird to still have them up? Some people didn't realize it was a couple shoot and assumed we were friends. Clearly, we both moved on, and although the relationship ended, I still rate the cute moments and just really like how the pictures turned out. So I've just kept them up because they look cool, not because I feel like I'm still attached to them. I have no problem with that. It's your Insta. You do what you want. Suitable Bike says definitely not weird. Plus, these pictures turned out so good. uh, Snooty Toots answered, I love them too. um, Next top rated comment is from a deleted user said, Who cares? The pictures are cool AF. Exactly. Pictures are cool, so who cares? And the third top rated comment is from Lil Cheebs. And it says, Pretty cool. Looks like an album cover. You can't tell who it is at all, so I think it's fine. She got Moxie says it's only weird if you make it weird. I think it's fine personally. I think it's fine. Somebody has a problem with it. Oh crap. You're kidding me. You're killing me here. I screwed up. It's okay. Come on, open. Open. Thank you. Supposed to be malicious compliance, but it was not. It was an ad. Sometimes that happens. Yeah, that's weird. No, it's not even an ad. It's just something weird. I don't know what happened there. That's okay. We got another one. Come on. Over here, buddy. There we go. All right. Next, we have malicious compliance. It's entitled Free Upgrade After 12 months, but internal policy not to replace anything less than 2 years old if it's functional. Okay. Background. I work in IT for a large corporation. We had a quid pro quo deal with Verizon Wireless that allowed for free devices every 12 months. Still true today as it was back in the late aughts when I was doing the IT procurement. IT management instituted a strict 2 year rule that nothing less than 2 years old would be replaced to save on frivolous replacements. Cut to the release of the BlackBerry Storm, and to a lesser degree the Torch. Their attempt at an all touchscreen interface to compete with the newfangled iPhone sensation that came out the previous year. I never had one myself, but it's pretty well accepted they sucked. Pretty bad. Practically unusable touchscreen. So I had to explain to Storm users that wanted to get rid of them about the 2 year policy. I'm barred from ordering them a replacement if their existing Storm is functional. Wink, wink. And their replacement would be free in 12 months. Just can't do it if it's functional. Led to some pretty creative acts of violence against Blackberries. More than one person just smashed their device on the floor right in front of me. One guy at happy hour plopped his into a half glass full of beer. What a waste of beer. The best, a guy set a sheet in his yard and ran over it with his riding mower and sent me the picture of the mangled shrapnel afterwards. They all had free non-storm devices delivered the next day. I got some office space esque joy out of seeing all the carnage. Oh, that's good. That's really good. If the replacement's free, I don't understand not replacing it if somebody wants to. I mean, if you like yours, that's good, but I don't see replacing it if somebody doesn't want to. Worker Merit Badge says, I work in IT. My company used to have the policy that if it's still working and runs our software, you keep it until it dies. Oh, that's a terrible policy for IT. Terrible. Terrible. I inherited an old laptop when I started, and even my manager tried to get them to replace it out of his budget. But they wouldn't budge, and they said they could only replace if it wasn't functioning. Darndest thing, it fell off a rack and what I had it sitting on while doing after hours changing the data center. Got a new one a few days later. Barry answers, more than once I've looked at the device and said, sorry, man, it's still functional. Here, let me hand that to you. Weird how many times my rheumatoid arthritis has caused me to drop them off my desk. Kind of weird how many people trip outside my cube, too. It's very hazardous around his cube. Colby Guy says, facilities here. We've checked the flooring outside of your cube and it's confirmed a gravitational anomaly. We've contracted a contractor and they're on schedule to repair it in about 150 months. Barry says, I think that same gravitational anomaly will cause a six pack of your fave drink to appear on your desk mysteriously. Drink distribution system. Quarter Empty says, is a second top rated comment, and they say, back in the desktop area of 2003, I worked for a low end office where nothing got replaced until it was completely non functional. Ugh. Oh, it's making me sick. As a techie person, it makes me sick. Yes, I do have an IT degree, as well as a history degree. I was assistant to two of the three named partners, yet I had an ancient 486 PC running Windows 95 that would randomly crash at least once a day. Oh my goodness, you were running a Windows 95 in 2003? That sounds horrible. Other newer employees got brand new PCs, and even attorneys who barely knew how to use computers got new PCs. One afternoon, I got fed up with it and arranged my desk so that the desktop was on the floor under my desk. Every morning when I came in and every night when I left, I'd take a look around and make sure I was alone and give the computer a swift, solid kick in its yellowed plastic front. Not enough to crack or mark the plate, but just enough to jar the components and release my frustrations, I bet. It took about 6 weeks before the old fella died. I got a new mid-range replacement running Windows XP. The skies brightened and I could hear the birds chirp again, and my productivity soared. And lo, these 20 years later, I can still feel the satisfaction of kicking that metal box every day. Uh, Against one answers or quotes 486 PC running Windows 95. Yeah, great therapy kicking that sucker. Gimpwiz says, I remember family's first PC in the case was like solid sheet of metal, a mild steel bent into a rectangle. Don't know what's up with my. You know what? I'm going to check something here. See if that helps. I don't know if it will or not. Okay. Um, that, that anymore. Oh, next is evil buildings, and this is the new building of a university in Milan. And there's two pictures. This looks boring. It's evil because it's boring. Looks so boring. It's bland. Ick. Who designed these? They're terrible. They're absolutely awful. Is that like literally outside the building? The stairs are literally outside the building. Ugh. No. No. Salient Iwuthi says, all I see is IBM server racks. True. Snooze has a university for future supervillains. And OP says, well, it is for chemical engineering department, so close enough. Official Cobra Trooper says, oh, then for sure science-based villains would be there. Somehow this seems like a kind of university that Cobra Commander might have attended. He probably met Destructo at the university and Destro, not Destructo. Destro at the university and Destro met Baroness while at the same university. The third top rated comment is Arasaka. I don't know what Arasaka is. I'm old. I have an excuse. Next, we have AITAH. It is entitled AITAH for telling my coworker I was miscarrying after she tried to get me in trouble for excessive bathroom use. Don't police other people's bathroom use. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. As long as it's not continuously every freaking day, let it go. Everybody has a bad bowel day sometimes. I had one on Monday. We had to cut our walk short. 'Cause Grandma had to go potty. Okay, female 26, have a coworker, Mary, whose main goal at work is to get the rest of us in trouble. Okay, I already hate Mary. Mary, don't jump on a lake. Today was apparently the target. When I got back from lunch, my boss asked me to talk, and explained how coworker had complained that I had excessive bathroom use and that she and the other coworkers had to pick up my slack. Excessive was 10 minutes in the 4 hours before lunch, and I took 40 minutes for lunch instead of the 30 we're supposed to. I was 8 weeks pregnant when I started miscarrying on Tuesday and called in sick to work. I was off yesterday since I am working Saturday, but decided to come into work today. Try and use work to we already read this. We read this. Why is this showing up again? And no, she's not the asshole. Um, Really weird. She must have done it in more than one place because it's not showing up on this list. So we will do another one. We'll call that a pink one because it's not that it was bad. Not that it was removed, it was that it was already read. Okay. Okay. Oops. All right. This is from AITAH, and it's entitled AITAH for not leaving something to my estranged daughter and her kids after she cut us off. I mean, no. No. It's a hard situation, though, to be both the kid and the parent. I would think a parent. I know for a kid it's hard. Be nice to have something, but you shouldn't expect it if you're a kid who cut their parents off. It's nice to have something, but you shouldn't expect it if you cut your parents off. And I say that as someone who's cut their parent off. Um, I have terminal illness and I'm dying in my late 60s. And even before this, my health wasn't great. I'm a dad to 4 kids and a grandpa to 6 little kids, but I only know 2 of them. My oldest daughter was from a previous relationship of mine, while the rest of my kids were from my wife. My daughter's mother always put lies in her head about me and tried to distance us from each other, and it worked. Okay, parental alienation also wrong, morally and apparently legally. So think about that before you do that. She told me multiple times her stepdad was her actual dad, and just stopped trying to even, and I just stopped trying, even though it hurt. And I just focused on my other kids who actually love and care about me. And with time, I got used to it. Wasn't even invited to her wedding, and that was the end of our relationship. We used to have very low contact, but after she got married, there was no contact between us whatsoever. No, she doesn't deserve anything. She has parents. She chose her stepdad over you. So no, absolutely not. I guess she must be told about my sickness because last week she called for the first time in years not to check up on me, but to ask about my will. What a I can't even say it. Oh, she says because I was absent and horrible dad to her that her kids deserve more from my will than my other kids who were there always, especially after I got sick. Hell no, dude. No, no. I told her she and her kids aren't getting anything from me because she clearly didn't need or want me, so she doesn't need my money. She went off on me and my even my ex is backing her, saying that she was always right about me. Of course the ex is backing her. Why wouldn't the ex back her? She's the one that caused the issue in the first place. By practicing parental alienation, this is what you get. When you practice parental alienation, your children do not get their inheritance. That's what happens. I think, but I think why should my kids have to share what I earned with my hard work when someone who actively hated me? Am I wrong here? No, absolutely not. Throwing Goblin says NTA, and now that you know she knows, talk to a lawyer. You may want to adjust so she gets a single dollar. Make sure she can't contest your will. Any lawyer would know better. I've seen too many greedy people contest wills trying to obtain more. Yeah. Spacey Lazy Girl says, I'm pretty sure that leave her a dollar varies by state. OP should speak to a lawyer and have his will structured so she can't contest. Yeah. Purple Penguin Cat says, that's what my grandfather did to my mom and uncle. She stated in his will that he was deliberately leaving them nothing. He estranged himself from them, not the other way around. Okay. I don't know why you would assume you were getting anything when you didn't have a relationship with them. I If it were me, I would expect nothing. I certainly wouldn't be contesting a will. I left things to my brother or my sisters, but mostly to my brother. It's mostly my brother that's on that side of the family. Stallion says, NTA, she's an entitled brat. Regardless of what happened during her childhood, she does not get to demand money from someone she has no relationship with. Exactly. OP said, I was absent because she wanted me to be. Always tried bonding with her, but her mother got in her head. And I hate that and don't care about her. That I hate and don't care about her. Van Driesen says, NTA, what you do with the money you worked for and earned is entirely up to you. She hasn't talked to you all this time, but she found out you're seriously ill. She immediately contacts you. But she doesn't contact you to see how you are or catch up. She only contacts you because she thinks she's entitled to something she isn't. You are giving her what she deserves, absolutely nothing. Her stepdad, aka her real dad, and mom can give her what they want. You owe her nothing. Exactly. She has a dad. She has a dad that she chose. Jinganishin says, NTA, she may have grown up being brainwashed by your ex, but the moment she became adult, she's responsible for her actions, which included cutting you off. Even calling you, she clearly has not changed her mindset at all. It's sad what your ex did, but your estranged daughter is also responsible for her behavior and actions. 100%. Jesse Klopp says, not even just when she became an adult, from the moment she gained self awareness, because from that moment, she is when she became responsible and her mother is now only accountable. I 100% agree with you. She made a choice and now she must live with it like she has for the rest of her life. Yes. Somebody says they don't agree with that because the child shouldn't be responsible for parent child relationship. Um, she clarifies, I didn't say the child would be responsible for maintaining the relationship. I'm saying that once she gained self awareness, she was responsible for her actions on whether she wanted to make up her own mind about her father and engage in a parent child relationship or to keep believing her mother and walk away from a relationship with her father, which she chose. That is like a question whether two 10-year-olds should go to jail for kidnapping, raping, and killing a 2-year-old in the most horrific way, or do they lack self awareness or they comprehend the difference between right and wrong. I'd love to see where the line is drawn for yourself at what age self awareness can happen because those 10-year-olds definitely deserve to serve the rest of their life in prison, never realized. I don't know. 10-year-old. 10-year-olds don't even have like mental capacity to understand what they did. Really. I mean, they still live in fantasy world at 10. Most of them anyway. Next we have Neighbors from Hell, and it is entitled, My neighbor woke up my entire family at 6 a.m. with a snow emergency, looking at the undrivable road he's suing me over. Huh? So I woke up this morning to someone relentlessly ringing my doorbell at 6 a.m. I thought there was a fire or a medical emergency. Nope, it was my neighbor. He was furious because it had snowed overnight. He cleared the area in front of his property, but the common road section next to mine, starting where the yellow pavers are in the photo, was not cleared by me yet. So that's the picture, starting with the yellow pavers. So that part wasn't cleared yet. It's a really weird common road. I'm so confused. Keep in mind, it's a common road, and by law, I'm not even responsible for plowing it. Oh, so, oh well. It's 6 a.m. My kids and my wife are terrified by the aggressive doorbell ringing. I doubt that. That's doing a lot of work there. I told him to leave. He took this photo, and posted it on our village group chat, and announced he's suing me because the road is impassable. Well, if he drives a Hot Wheel car, it's definitely a challenge. Knit Sanity says, I'm confused. Where's the snow on the road in the photo? He would not be able to handle my town, that's for sure. Helpful phrases laughs in Norwegian. That is cleared according to our town. Plowing starts when it reaches 5 centimeters on highway, 10 centimeters on the rest. Starts takes hours to do 200 kilometers. So you're lucky if it's that low at 6 a.m. If you can't drive safely, don't drive. We only get the roads this clear in March. Guess he would be cabin crazy after 3 months though. Natural Peak says Chuckles and Canadian. Our town only plows our road to hardpack, and then usually 26 to 36 hours after a snowfall, which usually means plowed to 10 centimeters of snow that quickly turns into ice ridges as people drive on it before it freezes solid. Yeah, familiar with that one. Sometimes you just learn to drive on ice. It's really not that. It's not like black ice where it's where it's really slickery. Um, it's just normal ice, and it has ridges and stuff, so it's not like you're gonna slide all over the place all the time. You have to be careful, but especially when you're stopping. Don't go too fast, but it is drivable. No Thought said this is pure harassment by your neighbor, roid rage or mental health problems. OP says mental health. He meant yeah, he has mental health issues. 57 says yikes. Imagine somebody waking up to complain about that. At least he's is he at least old age or senile to give him a bit of an excuse? And no, he's early 40s, 180 centimeters tall, built like a healthy bull, just a powerful, strong man. He can't afford winter tires, so I guess the reason he's really afraid of snow. Jeez. Yeah, no. That guy, why doesn't he just do it himself? He did his own. Why can't he do the rest of it? Next, we have Benign Existence, and it is entitled I Walked In on My Husband Having This Conversation. That's not nice. There's a family living there. You can't harass them like that. You don't like strangers intruding in your space. He was bent over talking to our cat. We have a lidded styrofoam box in our backyard that my husband intended to use as a planter, but a bird decided to nest in it. Our cat keeps trying to peek inside and chase Mama Bird around the yard. He has since raised the box so it's out of the cat's reach. Oh, what a good green flags for this hubby. Green flags. This guy has it going on. Do you think the cat understood him? Apparently, they could understand French if they grown up English. Next, we have Found Satan, and it is entitled Nobody Will Believe You. I pretend to be mute for 3 months and now I can't stop. This started as a stupid joke and now it's my actual life. Before anyone calls me stupid and pathetic, just hear me out. Back in November, I moved into a new apartment building. On my very first day, I bumped into a neighbor in the hallway, and for some reason I don't understand, I pretended I couldn't talk. I just nodded and smiled and did little hand gestures. I thought it was funny at the time, like a dumb bit I drop later, except I never dropped it. For 3 months now, everyone on my floor thinks I'm mute. People hold doors for me, wave, sometimes even slow down their speech like I don't understand English. One guy even learned some basic sign language to chat with me. The worst part, I kind of like it. It feels easier than small talk. But now the lie is too deep, and can't suddenly just start talking one day without looking like a total psycho. Um, somebody answers when you're alone with one of them, just say, nobody will believe you. These are both from Satan. Holy cow. Pretend you had surgery and go get some neck wrapping. Wrap it around your neck for a few weeks. Voila, I can talk. Be raspy for the first couple weeks. I Love Girls says this is getting way above a simple joke now. Eleanor says calling Silent Bob a simple joke over 5+ movies is messed up. Paul Halter said, well, he could say he had a throat infection, was unable, not allowed to talk. Coffee Moochie Bunny says this is an easy solution or a vocal cord overuse thing, and doctor ordered him not to talk. Vulcan Hollow says this would also allow them to partly continue. I can speak now, but I try not to overdo it. Yeah, exactly. I love pretty says I low key don't think I could ever commit to that bit. Gremlins are evil says, do people actually talk to their neighbors around here? It's usually a nod or wave or a greeting and a what floor if getting in the elevator together. Crafty Cherry says, I've had a few neighbors who are naturally chatty and are kind and pleasant enough for me to have no problem discussing with them in the corridors every now and then. Yeah, I can't just not talk. It's awkward for me, so I talk. My husband doesn't get it. You see the hair is coming back in? This is me growing my hair back in from last year. I'm getting a haircut, by the way. I don't know when, but I'm getting a haircut. Next, we have Just No Mill, and it is entitled Moved My Induction Date a Day to Avoid a Lifetime of Regret. Uh, the first thing my Just No mother in law said to me when we were pregnant with our second was, oh my, I hope it's a baby boy. You just need a baby boy. The first thing she said to me after we told her the due date, oh my God, the baby could come early and be on father in law's birthday. The due date was like 2 weeks after father in law's birthday. I mean, it could. It's probably not gonna. I was really hoping my sister would have her baby on my birthday. I hope he's Christmas. Drop Jesus' birthday instead. Little turkey. Here we are at 36 weeks. It's a boy. And OMG, Mill has been a horror. This pregnancy was nothing like my daughter and is much worse. I have gestational diabetes, so I've been like licking lettuce for 8 weeks, and somehow, this baby has found the nutrients to bulk up, and soon surpass his sister, who came out at 39 weeks and was 9 pounds. Yeah, gestational diabetes will do that. Those babies get big. I don't know why, but that is a known thing. So with gestational diabetes in mind and him tracking so large, my OB says let's go at 38 weeks, and I was so excited. I don't want to hear my cervix again. I don't want to tear my cervix again. Oh my. Then they called and asked if I wanted to be induced on father-in-law's birthday, and I said, "Oh hell to the nah, 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 nah, nah." I asked to push it out of a day. I'll endure another sleepless night of random unsolicited name suggestions every other hour and bland salad to avoid hearing my just no mother-in-law never let this go. Oh, that's a shame. That's an awful shame. I was born the day before my grandpa's birthday. I wish I would have been born on his birthday, but then I would have been over 2 weeks late. So I was supposed to be born in November, and I waited till mid-December to come out. I wanted to stay in there. It was nice and cozy. And then I did come out a minute before lunch. I've never missed a meal since. They didn't induce back then. I'm too old for that. Corduroy Flamingo said my first baby was due about 1.5 weeks after Just No father-in-law's birthday, and he and Just No mother-in-law really wanted a baby born on his birthday, and I thought, hell no. They were also obsessed with baby being a boy. We want a boy, and it had better be a boy. Like, you have a choice in that? Of course, it was a boy, but they shot themselves in the foot pretty quickly afterwards, so it didn't really matter in the long run. Deirdre, we'll call her the second rated comment because the other one got deleted. I had to stay at the hospital for a couple of weeks to get my gestational diabetes under control with insulin. The best part of the day was getting sugar-free Crystal Light in my water. The kitchen manager was so nice in helping me choose healthy meals. I ate tuna sandwiches a lot on whole wheat with light mayo and lettuce, tomato, cucumber, whatever veggies they had on it went on it. She also let me have those tiny ice cream containers for kids that have a wooden spoon every once every couple of days. There are some choices you can make to get dessert so you don't go crazy feeling deprived. The rest of the day will just be boring snacks. So glad you were able to change the day. You will still hear about it until you're so annoyed. And the third top rated comment is, I was going to have a scheduled C-section. It looked like it was either going to be on my daughter's birthday or my mother in law's birthday. They're 2 days apart. I ended up having her preeclampsia and delivering 2 weeks before her birthday. I wouldn't have minded if she was born on my older daughter's birthday, as they would have been cosmic twins. It's so relieved she doesn't share my birthday with my mother in law. It's really sad that you can't be happy if your kid's born on your mother in law's birthday. Next, we have Retail Hell. It's entitled When You Come Into Work and See One of These Buses in the Lot. And what kind of bus is this? I might get crap for being ageist, but just once on a weekday afternoon, I'd like to do some merchandising instead of dealing with cranky people who seem angry to be shopping there. You got to take care of everybody. Yeah, you're ageist, and that's rude. You're complaining about the tour buses at outlet malls. Sorry. Yeah, they're all whining about older people trying to do shopping. You know why they're old? Because they hurt. It is painful to be old. They hurt. They can't move the way they want to. It's very, very tiring and annoying. So I get why old people are cranky. Try not to be. Once in a while, you gotta have a nice one, right? Next, we have Petty Revenge, and it is entitled My Coworker Was Being a Tool, So I Nailed His to the Floor. I'm a woman who works in construction. You poor thing. Good for you, but you poor thing. I mainly wood framed apartment complexes for the majority of my career. I'm also usually the only female on the job site, yes, which sucks. So I have to often decide how to handle interactions with my male colleagues. If I lose my cool, I run into the risk of being labeled a bitch or get talked about, even if a colleague deserves it. One day on the job, I collected all the ladders that were on the job site because they often get left behind. We work one direction and move up floors when we finish a floor. I piled the ladders neatly side by side and then got to working on my task for the day. Well, I had my 6 foot ladder and my nail gun, but needed more nails, so I had to run down to the Connex to carry 3 10-pound boxes up 5 flights of stairs. When I got back upstairs to my area, my ladder was gone. A coworker had taken it. I asked him why he just didn't take one from the pile that was on the other side of the room, and he shrugged and asked me why I didn't just do the same. Because she was using it. It's hers. Oh, oh, people that do stuff like this. It didn't have your name on it. Irritate me so bad. It doesn't matter if it has my name on it. You knew it wasn't yours. You knew it was in use. Stop it. Like, dude, it's the principal. Because of course I would have. Would have stole his or anyone else's because if I would have stole his or anyone else's ladder they were using and there was a pile of them in eyesight, I would have gotten my ass chewed out and I would have had to take it on the chin. The unfairness of it all pissed me off and I waited until break when everyone went either to their car or the break area and I hid out in the porta potty. I took note of his tool bag before everyone went to break, and when I found it, I nailed that son of a bitch to the floor. I even took lags, big ass screws that go into wood, and screwed those in and bent them over. Oh, yes, girl. The best part is that I used different sizes, ranging from 4 to 6 and 8 inch, and you can't just pull those out either. You have to unscrew them because the grips are so coarse. He never said anything, neither did our other 12 coworkers, so I'm assuming he never knew it was me. Info: the bags I'm talking about are called pouches. They go around your waist and have pockets for all your tools. Yeah, it's a tool belt. It's a tool belt. How come you don't know the word for a tool belt, girl? Also, I didn't make any holes or puncture anything or damage his property. The pouches are secured around the waist like a heavy duty belt because they're a tool belt. Yeah. Okay. So now she's just explaining a tool belt. Here's some info to clarify things for those who say it's I am. I think you see that AI. A horrible person for saying I'm a horrible person for damaging company property and stuff. It all gets covered by uh, Gip Creek. For those saying he knew it was me, I ended up texting a friend about it and asked if the guy suspected anyone. I guess he didn't know. It was a few years ago when it happened. For those saying it's fake, I feel like y'all have worked on a job site. I think it's fake because you don't know the word for a tool belt. Like I said, it mainly worked in residential wood framing, but recently switched over to commercial where I do a lot of steel stud and drywall now. So less pranks on this side, but still happens. Residential is a little more savagery than commercial work. Pranks are pulled on job sites. We get it a lot done and work hard, and we do pranks to keep things interesting. Yeah, I mean, it's guys, you're going to prank each other. That's just how it works. Some more fun stories. I was working for a company that was a general contractor of the project. The electricians were giving us a hard time, and so our foreman intercepted their delivery and used the crane to put it on the roof. They were looking there. They were looking for their for like 20 minutes. Once I saw a guy's cart with like 50 pounds of tools nailed to the wall 6 feet up. A buddy of mine nailed a coworker's chair to the ceiling, telling apprentices to go find the board stretcher. Again, I did not damage his property. I did not hide his stuff or damage it. For example, it would be like if you hung your keys on a hook at work and I tied the keys to the hook. It just takes you a few seconds to get it off. Remote Bumblebee says, hi, fellow carpentress. Anyone who says men are less emotional and full of drama, I have never worked in the as the only woman on a construction crew. So much managing of fragile egos. I can imagine. Men say that they're not emotional. It's just that they're differently emotional and really unhealthily emotional. And y'all are cracking me up. I just want to say I love all you drama dons. Life would be a lot more boring without you. Um, Formidable Mistress says that men gossip so much too. My ex works in the shipyards, and I know everybody's business. Everybody. Antonia's aunt Oz says, I worked in a shipyard, can confirm. Mechanicy girl says, retired from the Navy, worked in a shipyard after retirement, can second this. uh, what me worry says, everyone knows the tool crib has all the tea. Men are the biggest yentas. Trex, which is a guy, says, saw a shipyard on TV, can confirm. Second top rated comment is from Rhythm Time Division. This is the guy who thinks they don't need a shopping cart, then realizes at the furthest point in the store, take two out of an unattended cart, steal it, and then act like a bitch when confronted and tell the person to go get another when there are plenty. Telling you to go get a ladder out of the pile sealed it for me. Bending over screws is pretty petty bonus points. Well played. F that guy. That Silver Spoon says people do that. I've seen people do that. Rhythm Time Division says, I've only seen cart stealers twice. One took off quickly, the other did exactly as described above. Crinja says, that sounds like a grade A revenge prank. Hilarious and no one got hurt. Kudos. Yes, exactly. Next we have Am I the Jerk? And it is entitled AITJ for canceling a group vacation rental after nobody paid me their share and I was stuck with the full bill. Why did we read this one also? Did we read this one? You know what? I don't think we read this one. I think this was read to me. We'll read it again in case. AITJ for canceling a group vacation rental after nobody paid me their share, and I was stuck with the full bill. No, and absolutely not the jerk, just from the title. A group of us were planning a weekend trip for our friend's 30th birthday. 5 of us in total. We found a really nice rental house, and everyone agreed to split it evenly. The total was around $1,200, so about $240 each. Not bad at all. The booking required full payment upfront, and I offered to put it on my card because I had the best rewards rate, and everyone said they'd send me their share that week. That was almost a month ago. Nobody has sent me a cent. I reminded them in the group chat after the first week. Everyone said, "Oh crap, I forgot. I'll send it tonight." Nobody sent anything. I reminded them individually a week later. Got a mix of I totally forgot and I get paid on Friday. Friday came and went. One person literally hearted my Venmo request and then never opened Venmo. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here with $1,200 on my credit card for a trip that is supposed to happen in 10 days. I agreed to spend 240, not 1200. I'm not the group's credit card. I'm not a bank. I did not volunteer to up to front $1,000 for people who can't be bothered to open a payment app. I sent one final message to the group chat. I said, "Hey, I need everyone's shares by tomorrow night or I'm canceling the booking and getting my refund." Two people said, "Okay, okay." And one person said, "You're being so dramatic. It's not like we're not going to pay you." Well, you haven't paid me, ma'am. So how do I know you're going to pay me? Tomorrow night came. One person sent their share, one out of four. I canceled the booking, got my refund minus a small fee, and then I sent a message to the group saying I canceled because I cannot afford to cover everyone and the deadline passed. I said I was happy to help rebook if everyone pays up front this time. The birthday friend doesn't know yet, but everyone else is furious. I feel bad because this was supposed to be something nice for our friend's birthday, but I spent a month asking for money and nobody sent. And wasn't about to eat $1,000 because everyone assumed I would just deal with it AITJ. No, should have got the money up front first. This is how you do things to avoid this crap. Me, I might have forgotten about it, but I would have done it on the first reminder. I wouldn't have been all, "You're so dramatic." No, you're not being dramatic. You need your money. Everybody needs their money. Decent Lake says one of them hearted your Venmo request and still didn't pay. That is not forgetfulness. That's just assuming you'll eat the cost because you're too nice to make it weird. Key University says NTA, you gave them multiple reminders, even a clear deadline. Expecting one person to front $1,200 for a whole group is ridiculous. If they were serious about the trip, they would have sent their 240 weeks ago. You're not a bank. Canceling after nobody paid was a responsible thing to do. Honestly, the only reason they're mad is because they assumed you'd keep covering for them. Kelly answers, excellent reply, which sums up the situation. Those friends were out of order, not sending their shares almost immediately. Yeah. If I don't send it immediately, I will send it in um, the first reminder because I am forgetful. I know I'm forgetful. And I would apologize profusely for forgetting. But it would be honestly, I forgot, not that I was putting it off. Um, Kumisha Jones says, spend the 240 and take the birthday present person out alone. Yeah, that's true. Gold Amount says, NTJ, but find better friends. Are they usually that flaky and cheap? Next, we have entitled people, and it is entitled Entitled Neighbor Threatened Me with Police. Well, what did you do? Are you sure? Let's find out. My entitled neighbor that you can read about in my post history is obsessed with me. It seemed like things were calming down. I have a doorbell camera, and she wasn't knocking on my door as much. She seemed to be running out of steam. Last night, my son and I went to a party at a friend's house. Several children were there, and the host offered a sleepover for any kid who wanted to spend the night. Once all the kids were asleep, adults enjoyed the adult beverages. I left my son in my car at my friend's house to pick him up in the morning, which I did, and then walked home. After I got home, I went straight to bed. I was awoken by the doorbell camera. My neighbor was there. I ignored her but watched her on the camera. She knew I was home and that if I didn't answer, she would call a wellness check on me because I came home with my son. I told her through the camera that he was at a slumber party and I wanted her off my porch. Probably missed a word there. Probably didn't come home with her son. What's in your business? What my kid's doing and whether I come home with him or not. She asked why he was at a slumber party on a Monday night. I said it was none of her business and to get off my porch. She said she was going to call for the wellness check unless I showed her proof that he was okay. I walked out the back door towards her house. She saw me when I was almost there and came running after me. I knocked on her door. She reached her front door right before her husband opened the door and demanded that I leave. The irony. Her husband answered the door and asked what was going on. I told him that what his wife did and threatened to do. He yelled and cursed at her, asked her what was wrong with her, and telling her to get in the house. She told him not to lower. She told him to lower her voice. Okay, there's the negative word from the other sentence that was missing. She told him to lower his voice, saying the neighbors would hear. He said the neighbors really already think she's a word, and I'm not going to repeat because they saw her knocking on my door all the time. She told him to stop, and he told her to get in the house. She went inside. He apologized to me and said she's not going to knock on my door anymore. I felt uncomfortable because of all the yelling and cursing, and I was also still tipsy. So today I went home. So far, no knocks. We'll see what happens. Good on you getting the husband involved. You could have just called the cops and said, you should have let her call the cops. Let her call the cops. Go ahead. Call the cops. Enough calls to the cops and they'll stop responding. True Believer 14 is the top rated comment, and they say, I've been following your post, and I'm surprised your neighbor has continued her harassment. Her fixation on you is not going to go away. At this point, you should consider getting a lawyer send her a copy to her husband, a cease and desist order, threatening to file for restraining order. Sufficient Lie says, I've been following LP's post, and it's baffling that he won't do this. The woman is unhinged and could hurt or abduct his son. That alone should prompt legal barring her from his life under threat of arrest. OP, WTF, dude. Fluffy the Furious says, because he's a single father who is not white, and the obsessed neighbor is a white lady. Oh, that puts a whole other spin on it, doesn't it? But if we're going by what the husband is yelling about, the rest of the neighborhood is becoming aware of this very disturbing behavior. Tang says, be careful, make sure your home is together and food is in the fridge and cabinets. Her next move will be to call CPS, keep messages and doorbell videos of her in case you have to file against her. Exactly. Michelle says, as a housing provider, I'd also add that you put a no trespassing sign on your property. If she visits again, say, you are trespassing again, please leave. Say it loud and slow. If she continues talking, say, this is your second warning, you are trespassing, please leave. Rinse and repeat as needed. Obviously, keep all the recordings. It helps the cops establish evidence and precludes future defense arguments, such as, I thought the property was open to the public, especially if there's no fence. No doubt it will help if the CPS report is made. And the third top right comment is, you might considering alerting your child's school about her just in case. Yes, definitely. Definitely, kids' school needs to be brought into the loop. Just in case, because you can never trust people like this. Laser Love says this needs to be higher up with how she took it upon herself to find his ex-wife, his son's mother on Facebook to question her. I have zero doubts that she will try to find his son's school. She knows his routine and she can follow him there. As a parent, this is terrifying. Fellow says, what the wang? There's more? And Panda says, oh yeah, check OP's previous post. This lady's wanging unhinged. I think we've read at least one other one from him. Expectation versus reality. Barbie Dream Fest. Let's see what we get. This is your sign to go to Barbie Dream Fest. And they're on skates. He's in a blue suit. She's in a pink dress. Very Barbie. Who's ready for Barbie Dream Weekend coming to Fort Lauderdale? Okay. Here's the other ad. March 27th to 29th, 2026, Fort Lauderdale, Barbie Dream Fest. On the beach, apparently. This is your sign to go to Barbie Dream Fest. And little kids with mom. Roller skates and boom boxes on the boom boxes. And a little thing that you might take to the beach to carry your stuff in. Little beach carrier on the wall. This is Barbie Dream Fest. Oh my gosh. That's terrible. There are no skates. Why are there no skates? It's like in a conference building, but not like a conference room where you would have a conference with other people. It's like a conference space where you would have like maybe an auto show or an RV show. So concrete floors, etc. There's a square of green outdoor carpet. You know what I'm talking about. A fake Barbie house facade. Um, a couple of chairs, a couple of like blankets on the ground, and a pink VW van. And that's it, and a few people. So apparently Barbie Dream Fest was not all that. No, they do have okay, there are other stuff there. It's more like a conference hall where you have like vendors. They have Barbie Dream Fest disco roller disco, and it's literally what is that? Maybe a 10 by 10 square, maybe a 15 by 15 square, something like that. Set up so you could roller skate inside. That's terrible. How much did you pay for this thing? Because I hope it was free, because it should have been free. This is branded as an event where you get to interact with life-size Barbie Dream House, participate in a disco themed roller experience, and have access to an amazing marketplace. Okay, so it was a vendor. It's for the vendors, it's not for you. That is not what it was. Our swag bag was a hand sanitizer. The event planning company, according to this, is called Mischief Management. They ran this for Mattel. Oh, Mattel should be embarrassed. This event was promoted by Mattel as the first Mattel Barbie convention, as opposed to the fan one that happens every year. We are thrilled to announce Barbie Dream Fest as an offer designed to delight the brand's glowing fandom, said Julie Freeland, president of global location based entertainment for Mattel. Mattel should be embarrassed. It's incredibly exciting to provide fans, families, and collectors with curated, unique space to gather, learn, and create, all while celebrating the iconic Barbie brand. Edit to add, I paid $250 for this. The highest tier was $400. They got a plastic hairbrush in addition to the hand sanitizer in as their swag bag. See the comments for more photos of this disaster. Ginger unravelings. Just post. Oh, yes, yes, that's exactly what that is. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. The Dune experience, Glasgow. It's great. This is your Dune experience. I had one of these when the kids were little in our backyard. Kids played in all the time. We moved here and they stopped playing outside. I have 3 acres. Aw. This is what one of the little kids looked like. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to show that. Just that doesn't have her face. It has her face. She's very sad. I'm not going to show it though. I'm not going to promote that. They could have at least blanked her eyes out or something. Oh, that's horrible. I don't see the other pictures. Oh, so many memes. All right. Oh, I forgot to put that up. Please like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. I try to go live at least 4 times a week, usually around noon Eastern. Tell everybody. Don't tell Mattel because I don't want to be involved in that. Mattel should be embarrassed. Embarrassed. All right, next we have our real estate section, and it is entitled "Oh, the Sins I Would Commit for This House." It's affordable for someone who isn't me, and this is in Bangor, North Bangor, New York. It's a cute house. I like it. It's an Italianate. Yeah, I know my houses. What are you gonna do? So it's a cute little Italianate. It's been built onto, but it's definitely originally a Italianate. It's only $350,000. Holy cow, that's cheap. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2,000 square feet. That's very cute. Got like a downstairs. That's weird. I'm confused by that downstairs. Are you? Well, too many stairs for my take. Why does this have hinges? That's strange too. Why did the stairs have hinges? I'm confused. They have a lot of pewter up. A lot of old pewter dishes everywhere. You can put your own collection up there. That would be fun. I mean, they're clearly a collector, so I do like the space. It's nice. I like this collection of French windows. Nice fireplace with the fake fire. This is clearly not AI staged furniture, though. Well, that's adorable. I love that. A little table, but it has a little scoop for the firewood. That's adorable. And also, you can take it outside because it has wheels. The gun over the fireplace is a little too high. I don't think they would have had the gun up that high. The gun would be down here. Easy. You have to have that. Had to have that gun easy to get to because that was your protection. Oh, that's interesting. Um, these little hooks holding up the chandelier. That is a strange little alcove. It's cute, but it's strange. I guess you could sit there if you wanted to. Ooh, I like this kitchen even though it's yellow. That is some fancy dancy stoves going on. I really want to know what all that is next to the stove. That is really cool. Oldie timey looking. Maybe you're supposed to put stuff on there so the servants can take it out. They're into KitchenAid. They have a KitchenAid coffee pot. I've never seen a KitchenAid coffee pot before, but it matches their KitchenAid mixer nicely. What's on the other side? A KitchenAid Keurig, a red Keurig. So I guess a KitchenAid coffee pot and all that. Oh, and a little electric kettle. It's also bright red. And a cuckoo clock. Still want to know what's going on with this. What is this? It's cool, but what is it? Is it staying? There's also a weird little antique thing, stovetop thingy looking over there in the butler's pantry. What is that supposed to be? And why do you have it there? Is it a coffee grinder? I hope it's a coffee grinder. Everything is red. All of their appliances are red. Even the refrigerator looks cool. It does not look old timey, but it does look cool. The stained glass in the door looks really neat. They got their wireless phone, not their cell phone, their wireless phone. I don't like having my cooking stuff all open to the public like that. Plus, I would have stuff all stacked on top of each other like I do now. Oh, those dishes are oh my goodness. I would love to have that in my kitchen. That big buffet thing. Oh, the dishes are gorgeous. And then the little cardinal in the on the table's cute too. But how do you use the table with the cardinal there? Do you have to move it every time? That would be a pain. Sleigh bells. Sleigh bells are always good. There's more kitchen, more pictures of the dining area. We have the living area. Tiffany lamps everywhere. Of course, the pewter, more of the pewter household items. Oh, that horse is really cool too. And you gotta have a goose. Who wouldn't have a goose in their living room? I don't have a goose in my living room. Do you have a goose in your living room? Go right through from the kitchen to the stairwell. It's a little too busy. There's too much going on here. It's a very small room. There's so much going on. That looks like one of those Kincaid paintings. Have you ever looked him up? Looked up the Kincaid paintings. It's a thing. Oh, everything is very brightly colored. A lot of red. And we're going. Oh, no, we're not going upstairs. Yep, we're upstairs. Bedroom. Don't think it's the master. It's very interesting how they have it set up with the bed in the corner. Is there a reason for that? There's a reason. Well, yeah, there's a reason for that. There's not a lot of room. There's not a wall room. Bathroom is old timey. I've never seen a round tank like that though. That's very odd. Interesting. Good conversation piece, but odd. Nice shower. I don't mind the bathroom at all, really. Except for that puke green. Now, that's a little busy, but it is horsies. So I like it. Talking about the wallpaper. Some odd person portrait there. They do have a bed warmer. Do you see this? This is a bed warmer. You would put hot coals from the fireplace in it, and then run it under your sheets to warm up your bed before you got in. I think those should come back in some sort of fashion. I don't know what this is. This little footstool thingy. I would love to know what that is. Anybody got a history on that? This bed, you have to have a step to get up into it. What, another horsey? Yeah, the bed's too big. It has to have a step to get it back up into it. But a bed warmer is always a good thing. I mean, I'm not partial to an entire wood bathroom, but if you're going to do an entire wood bathroom, this is the way to do it. Well, I like the little um, cubby holes over here. That would be nice to store all your little stuff in. Your toothpicks and well, not toothpicks, but uh, makeup and Q-tips, toothbrushes, all of that. And you have cows. Another Kincaid painting of cows. Pretty sure they're Kincaid. We have an attic bedroom. Very rustic bed. That's cool. A little sitting area. There's a sled for decoration. The bed is in the middle of the room, which no, I don't think so. I mean, my bed's in the middle of the room, but the top of it is against the wall, like a proper bed. This is a lumberjack room. I'm a lumberjack and I'm okay. They have more than one sled in this house. Old-fashioned sled with the runners. Some people call that a toboggan. A toboggan to me is a long sled, long wooden sled with a has no runners, but it's looped in the front. That's a toboggan to me. So other people, that's not. This is the basement. Basement has a nice wood stove. It's very themed. Well, it's well themed throughout. I will give them that. It is well themed as Pioneer. It's a Pioneer themed house. Another dining area down here in the base. That we called it the base because that's what my kids called it when they were little. I want to go down the base. Oh, this is where they watch TV. Okay. It's nice. I like it. And you also have another wood stove outside, another wood fireplace thing outside, and enjoy the weather outside. Nice wood, nice porch area. I like me a good porch area. Just personally, I like a porch area. Well landscaped too. Strange little sitting. I should get a bench and put it out in the woods somewhere. My woods, my own woods. I have my own woods. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Back to listing. Okay. We built in 1906, so it's got good bones, I'm sure. It's on 1.1 and third acres, so that's nice, big yard, but not not ginormous. Steeped in storybook charm and rich architectural heritage. It's a Victorian farmhouse. Um, yeah, it is definitely pioneer, pioneer and pilgrim, pioneer and pilgrim themed. I'm not saying it's bad. I like it, but it's not for everybody for sure. 4 bedrooms, 3 baths, 2 full bathrooms and 1 half bath. Uh, one main level bathroom. Um, Douglas fir cabinets. Nice. Granite fired granite countertops in the kitchen. The laundry is in the basement. They did not show that. The primary bedroom has an oak floor and a balcony, which they didn't show. I have a sunroom. Description: gazebo room. Primary bathroom features ceramic tile a little bit. Has a laundry chute to the kitchen, but not to the basement where the, where the laundry is. There's fireplaces and a wood stove. The freestanding refrigerator, gas range are included, but they're taking everything else with them. So good luck getting appropriate appliances to fit in that old-timey kitchen. 6 parking spaces, a driveway, garage faces front. Yeah, only have a few trees. Irregular lot. Wood siding, stone foundation, shingle roof. It is pending a sale. Only $350,000 is amazing to me for that house. The property taxes are only $508 a year. That's crazy. Wow, their tax rate's low. Well, maybe I'll move to Bangor. I don't know. Not Michigan. Not Bangor, Michigan. Bangor, Maine. Oh, sorry, Bangor, New York. Lots of bangers around. um, Ivy Curve is top rated comment says, "What on earth is that toilet tank? I love it, but I've never seen anything like it." Same girl. It's a pillbox toilet. They were early 1900s. That's interesting. Okay. uh, Miserable Art says it's convenient because this particular house will whisper to you at night which sins it will have you commit. Will not. The Black Athletes with their top rated comment, and they say, "Don't get me wrong, absolutely gorgeous house. But having grown up in several antique houses, I would never buy one for cent. The maintenance is endless and just not for me." Yeah, that would be. Unless it was all done already, which $350,000 is not screaming. I put $300,000 into this house. Signs with a story, and it is entitled Amateurs in a Professional World. Uh, yeah, I like this. Reminders, I'm a kid. It's just a game. My coach is a volunteer. The officials are human. No college scholarships will be handed out today. More people need that in their lives for sure. It's captioned "Adult fights in the news. Play ball." People get way too. I forgot the last. The bottom says way the way a team plays as a whole determines its success. You may have the greatest bunch of individual stars in the world, but if they don't play together, the team won't be worth a dime, and that's from Babe Ruth. Some adults get way too into their kids' sports, and it's ridiculous. Screaming at your kid because they did something they know was wrong, but they did it anyway, is not good for your kid. Don't scream at your kids for that. Like, you can have a nice, calm talk with them. You don't need to be screaming at them. If you're that invested, maybe you shouldn't have your kid in sports. Equivalent Shine says, "I remember playing in Little League decades ago, and one set of parents did make some remarks about our pitcher loud enough that we could all hear them. They were immediately approached by several people. I didn't hear what happened, but there was no fight or shouting match, and the parents didn't heckle again in the game. I believe they apologized to my teammate afterwards." Well, that's nice. This is what I think has changed now. People, even when called upon for poor behavior, don't feel the need to address it or acknowledge it, and in some cases become emboldened to get it even worse. Mhm. 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 Yeah. King Mobsine says, "I was at my daughter's game once and a parent said a kid on the other team sucked. A bunch of parents, the coach, and all heard and immediately shut that down. Kids should be having fun learning the game. They shouldn't have to deal with adults insulting them." Exactly. Or screaming at them. Or coaching them from the sidelines. They have coaches. You don't need to be coaching your kid. Encouraging, yes. Coaching, no. Get them? It's good. Actually coaching? No. Glyph says, "I was a band kid playing for the football team at high school's event. A fight broke out between a player and a parent during halftime. The parent started it by shoving the player for tackling their kid. What do you think was going to happen in football? Jeez. And pretty soon it was an all out brawl in half the stadium. The cops were called and the game was ended. It never should have happened in the first place. The kid was playing a game where he was meant to, and there's no reason to bully him for that, especially as a full grown adult." Exactly. Throwing gas is the second top rated comment, and they say this is a wise sign. Parents at children's sports events are a-holes too often, always have been. Pearl Miss says, "Youth sports somehow turn normal adults into WWE commenters." Exactly. Pockets and Groin Jab says, "Well, I'm a divorced dad who has 12 beers, and these umpires are about to find out." Carnival, Carnival, Carnival Billy. Carnival Billy. Carnival Billy. Okay, Carnival Billy says, "You're a lightweight. Most drunk divorced dads can handle a 30 pack of Keystone Light before they really act like a fool." Mm. This is from Confession. and it is entitled, I have saved thousands of dollars by sneaking into the dorm cafeteria for food. During my freshman and sophomore years, I was on an athletic scholarship and food was included. My junior year, I tore my ACL and stopped playing and lost my meal plan. I was essentially on my own. No support from my single mom and dad wasn't in the picture at all. I got a job on campus that covered my rent, fuel, books, and tuition. I had no money for food or extracurricular activities. My campus job had a fat stack of free mini pizzas from Pizza Hut, coupons from Pizza Hut. I took every single one of them and had mini pizza every day for about 3 months. I also I would also sneak into the dorm cafeteria to eat lunch. I would wait for it to get really crowded while a large group of students would gather to swipe their meal cards. I would try to blend in and walk right in. I did this a few times a week for 2 years. I remember thinking that if I got caught, I'd play the victim card and basically make the argument that I was literally a starving student. I saved thousands of dollars in food. Saved me. Blue Waff says, "You should never have to do this. I'm sorry you were hungry, and I hope you're doing better now." Um, Stick a fork in my eye says, "Complete BS that a student athlete loses their scholarship if they get injured. If they voluntarily quit playing, sure. But if injured and can't play, they should be required to keep the scholarship." That would be fair because they got injured doing the thing that you're literally paying them to do. One man, zero cups says, "Yeah, should assist with stats, coaching, laundry, anything to keep their scholarship. I've gotten injured in high school during sports, and I showed up to every practice and game to share on the team. They should expect the same." Exactly. Anything you can do to help the team to keep your scholarship. You earned that scholarship when you were in high school. Guardian Betha is the second top rated comment, and they say, "Considering the amount of food thrown away at cafeterias, you committed a victimless crime. My complaint is against the scholarship program. If you earned a scholarship, it should be for 4 years and not just until they damaged your body enough that you couldn't play." Exactly. The least they could do is continue your scholarship because now you can't do the things you love to do. It's crazy. I don't think we should have sports. Honestly, other countries don't. It's ridiculous. They make all kinds of money off of those sports. Nobody should have to pay tuition, to be honest. Just sports all the time. Rent to Cloud says, "Agreed on the victim's Clarence part. I had a period of homelessness and was dumpster diving. We found a food distribution center that supplied cafeterias across the province. They threw out so much food, at least 1 meter cubed every 3 days. 1 square meter every 3 days, 1 cube meter every 3 days. It was all still before they sell by date, and that's before it enters the cafeteria." Harvey Goat Milk says, worked at a deli during undergrad, $1 sandwiches and free fountain drinks and coffee. Saved my life as I struggled to keep a roof over my head and finish my degree. Nobody should have to struggle to keep a roof over their head if they're in college. It's crazy. When I was going to school, you could work part time and pay for everything: housing, food, clothing, and your tuition on a part time salary. Let that sink in, how much kids are getting ripped off nowadays. Arcade says, "I worked at a sandwich shop for 6 years. On a large sandwich, we would cut out the middleman, which was about 1 inch section on sandwiches we liked. We also had frozen cookie dough in the freezer and 5-gallon pails of cooked bacon. I ate I ate thousands of dollars of food from there over the years." Yeah, but you're ripping somebody off. You're taking part of their sandwich. Interesting AF. German client activists stood on the melting blocks of ice with ropes around their necks, warning that time is running out. I am not showing you this picture. That's crazy. Also scary. What if you slipped? MLX says, "I thought people just had enough of Ed Sheeran and Lewis Hamilton and Pam from The Office." I don't don't know who Lewis Hamilton is. And that does not look like Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran has red hair. He's not a blonde. Donnie Ryder says it's actually a pretty good metaphor as live art installation. It's pretty good. One point grabs attention, makes you think, what the? Oh, as a piece of protest art, gotta say, top tier. They also benefit from being right. Taking your hand says pretty good at art installation, easy to understand and eye catching. Next is Am I the A-hole? And it is entitled AITA for speaking to my overweight assistant about her business lunch and making her cry. Yeah, probably. Oh, nope, it's flared as not the a-hole. At the beginning of the year, I hired an assistant. We'll call her Amy. Amy is great at what she does. I have already given her a raise because I felt she was underpaid for what she was doing. I'm working on several large deals, so I gave Amy the lead on one of them, and she did an excellent job. I set up a lunch appointment with that client on Friday. I told him I would be bringing Amy as she is instrumental in their account. He did not have a problem with this. Amy was professional, knowledgeable, and did an overall good job. Client and I were both impressed with the exception of one thing. The client and I both ordered a burger and fries. Amy ordered a steak, well done, mashed potatoes, steaming vegetables, and a side of soup. The client and I finished about the same time. It was another 15 minutes before Amy finished. Okay, and the waitress came around to see if we wanted dessert. The client and I both said no. Amy ordered cheesecake and coffee. I realized I hadn't spoken to Amy about client lunches, so after the meeting, I explained to her that it's best to follow the client's lead. If they order simple food, we order simple food. I mean, that seems fair. If they decline dessert, we decline dessert. If we want something afterwards, we can pick it up later. Amy did not take this well. At first, she offered to pay me back, which was not, I told her it wasn't a money issue. I have no problem buying her lunch, but to keep it in mind, it's about business. I told her I usually order wraps or burgers because they're not too messy like spaghetti, and I can take small bites in case I'm asked a question. I can also match the client's eating speed so there's no awkward waiting on either side. Then she started crying, saying it's because she's fat. Her words, not mine. No, this was not about your weight, Amy. No, he's not the a-hole. He's talking about guidelines for proper conduct. It has nothing to do with her weight. I told her again it was about strategy. I thought she had a great potential. I wanted to help guide her. Then I told her some of my past faux pas. For example, ordering spaghetti and getting it on my shirt. Or once I ordered a ordered first and ordered a cheeseburger when the client was vegetarian and highly disgusted at me. She was still upset when she left. I feel like an a-hole for bringing this to her attention, but my intentions were good. Well, this is learning lesson for you, LP, because you should have done this ahead of time. That would have been proper. I feel like she has great potential. The meal didn't concern me as much as how she took instruction. Now I'm wondering if others think I was wrong for bringing it up at all. No, it needed to be brought up. Fit Bumblebee said, Amy did not take this well, quoted, Amy did not take this well at first. She offered to pay me back, and I told her it was not a money issue. There's no way you can get someone who is determined to misunderstand you to understand you. You did not comment on her weight, and her theatrics speak to her, whatever she's dealing with internally. Professionally, this is a huge red flag for Amy. I know it's hard to hear, especially given the crying and all of that, but you are NTA. And they got a reward actually 25 and thanked everybody. Somebody deleted a comment. Ryan Rockman answered a deleted comment saying, a corollary to this is the old Upton Sinclair quote, it is difficult to get a man to understand something when his salary depends on him not understanding it. A guest says, except in Amy's case, her salary depends on her understanding that a client lunch is a meeting, not a meal. Yeah, that's true. Thundernut says, NTA, business lunches are weird. So many unwritten rules and pitfalls. As her boss, you offered her advice and examples of mistakes in the past. As her boss, it's literally your job to mentor her and guide her in these situations. Also, dessert has two S's. Evil War says, because you want more dessert. Grim Resistance says, what if I want more desert? MVM says, NTA, I'm also overweight person. I would never think of ordering a steak if I worked in a client facing job and the client didn't order something fancy first. It wouldn't occur to me to do so. I do understand she may be feeling very sensitive about her weight. A lot of us fat people do, but not every conversation is about food is an indictment. If she wants to be in your field, she needs to know the strategy. Also, I get why it didn't occur to you to have the food strategy. Also, I also get why it didn't occur to you to have the food strategy meeting ahead of time, but I hope that if this happens again with someone else that you will do so. A few else is in the dessert when no one else is ordering, a waste of time. It's not lunch with the family. Correct. Yeah, if I'm even if I want dessert, if no one else is getting dessert, I'm not getting dessert. That's because it keeps people there longer and they don't want to be there watching you eat. How embarrassing. They watched her eat for 15 minutes after they were done and then she got dessert on top of it. I would not want people watching me eat. Sorry. I don't work here, lady. Entitled, I don't work here, my husband does. About 8 years ago, I was sitting on a bench in front of the registers at the store my husband was working at while waiting for him to get off of work. I also worked retail, but in a big box blue store, uh, Walmart. So Sam's Club. This lady that I have seen at my work walked up to me and was asking me something like, "Do you guys have any more mangoes?" I paused and says, "I don't work here. I work at Walmart." She paused and said, "Oh, that's right. You do. I remember now." We both laughed a little because it was so funny. Well, at least it was a humorous and rewarding because every time you laugh, it's a rewarding outcome. The first comment says, "At least she was nice about it." Exactly. Exactly. Ted Anderson said, "I know what you mean. I have my favorite supermarket cashier that I see at other stores, including Costco. And without thinking, I'll come close to saying, 'Hey, Rebecca, I can't find the carrots.' It takes me a few seconds to realize she's not in the store by which me by which she's not in the store by which she works." Um, oh yeah, that was the other thing that was great today. The cashier at Aldi put all of my stuff exactly as I would have done. Like, all the frozen food was in a corner, and all of the, um, cold but not frozen food was in a corner, and all of the cans and hard stuff was in a corner, and all of the boxes was in a corner, and the bread was all in the basket, which is exactly why I put them up that way. Why don't other people do that? It only makes sense. And then I could just take the whole corner and put it in a bag, and I'm good, because at Aldi, you have to bag your own groceries. That's how they save money, and that's fine. I don't go there for them to bag my groceries. I go there because 'cause they're cheap, and I'm cheap. Next, we have Overheard, and it is entitled "Mom and 5 or 6 year old at the greeting card station section of Target looking for a birthday card. Mom pulls up card after card. How about this? Boy, no, I don't like that one. One after another. Finally, the boy says, I found a great one. Shows Mom a card with a unicorn, rainbow unicorn and glitter. Um, I don't know. Do you think he'd like glitter? Men usually don't. Boy, when I'm growing up, my life will be full of glitter. I'll be a man who loves glitter. I love him. I love him so much. Oh, what's not to like about glitter except for you to never get rid of it? Oh, I love him so much. He's such a sweetie. Give that card. Give that card, boy. He's a man. He'll understand. If he's a good man, he'll understand. Playful Secrets says, honestly, good for him. Life is probably better when you stop treating glitter like a threat. Exactly. Frosty Froyo says it gets everywhere is the only reason I don't like it. It looks cool. I like glittery looking things. Glitter is just such a mess. It is. Martin Garg says Marge Garge. Well, maybe it's Marge Garge. Says there's a reason glitter is called crafting herpes. You get it once and it's with you forever. Oh, Delulu Drama says may you sparkle always, sir. Head Razzmatazz says glitter is often as shiny, it sparkles a lot. We need more glitter in our lives. And sequins. Maybe that's why I like figure skating so much. It's all sequins. Next, we have True Off My Chest, and it's entitled, I found the black box of my marriage in a drawer today. 3 years of lies. My daughter 10 is getting her first phone today. My wife's old S20 that's been sitting in a drawer for years. I was clearing it out to set it up for her, and I found a thread from 2023. It's visceral. Sexual messages, photos, the whole bit. She was sleeping with a coworker while I was working 16 hours a day struggling with my health. The kicker, I thought we were great. I lost 60 kilograms since then, gastric sleeve. Worked on myself and thought our marriage was at its peak. Turns out 3 years of happiness is just me living in the dark while she sat on this secret. I've already been through this once before with an ex, and I told myself I was done with this crap, but I have a kid now. I've hidden the phone in the shed. I'm staying sober tonight so I don't do anything stupid. I have to sit across from her at dinner and act like everything is fine for my daughter's sake. 12 years of marriage down the drain because of a drawer in a phone. I think you mean a phone in a drawer. You are really upset, sir. I'm sorry. I can't talk to friends because they're all mutual. I don't expect anyone to fix it. I'm going to find a way to bottle a nuclear bomb and keep my crap show together. My daughter deserves that and more, and I just need to put this somewhere. Jeez, that really stinks. I am so sorry, OP. Um, Honestly, there's someone to talk to. You can go to counseling. You can go talk to a neutral person that will help you navigate through this and see what you want to do about it. Stranger Noises says mutual friends are your friends too. My divorce was different circumstances, but in hindsight, I wish I'd had the confidence to go to my friends for help. Instead, my ex-wife did, leaving me very lonely indeed. Yes, that's also a reason you should go tell your friends first, because they'll hear from her, and whoever gets there first gets them. OP says, answers, I'm sorry you had this crap in your life too. I'll take your thoughts into consideration. Not kidding says, whoever goes to the friends first is usually keeps them. The tone is set and the narrative is established. That's just how things tend to work. Yep, that's exactly right. What did I just say? Dry Clock is the second top rated comment, and it says, take the phone to a lawyer, make copies of everything. Follow your lawyer's advice, protect yourself, and end it ASAP and move on. Fourth Degree Knight says, yes, especially financially. Antiff says, do not leave the house. And 15 Little Bucks Man says, yes, do not leave the house. If you leave the house, you can get the house. Talk to a lawyer. Yep, that was my dad's error. He left the house. He should have gotten that house. I should have gotten to stay in my house. Secure Camera says, imagine your daughter all grown up and this situation happened to her. What would you want her to do? Would you want her to bottle it up and stay in a relationship with infidelity and lies, or would you rather she leave her cheating spouse and find happiness elsewhere if possible? She's going to learn by watching what you do. Opie says, funny you say that. I'm the child of divorce myself. What she's going to grow up seeing is a strong man who can navigate a catastrophe. Don't underestimate the power of a love father has for his daughter. I can do this. Oh, no. Just build resentment, dude. Don't do that to yourself. Next we have What Do I Do? And it's birthday. Can we celebrate your birthday on Monday? I'm making cabbage burgers with soy, pumpkin pie, and real whipped cream. Cabbage burgers sound terrible. My birthday is Wednesday, and I'm going to visit my partner's family on Monday. His mom sent me this message. Maybe she forgot, but I don't like cabbage burgers or pumpkin pie. I don't blame you. Cabbage burger sounds terrible, and I'm not a pumpkin person. There have been many occasions which I politely decline these foods. For instance, every Thanksgiving dinner for the past 8 years. I'm honestly not sure what to say because I don't want her to feel bad when I won't eat these. Punk Rock Batgirl has the bead on the issue. What exactly is a cabbage burger? Shrimpity says, answers, okay, I'm reading this. I'm reading the comments like, what is a cabbage burger and why are they being consumed as a family meal so often? Google says, this is from Quietly Upgrading, and they say Google says a cabbage burger is typically a savory pastry filled with seasoned ground beef, cabbage, and onions, often called a Krautburger or Beirock in the Midwest. It's a Russian German dish popular in Nebraska and South Dakota. A modern low carb variation also exists using roasted cabbage sticks as buns for beef patties. Okay, that doesn't sound as bad. I was thinking the the roasted cabbage steaks as the burger, and then you put a bun in it, and that was just not doing it for me. Um, Wife made this last week without the pastry. We agreed on it. I'm a low carb diet, and believe it or not, it was yummy. It's the best eaten if it's a salad cut into pieces after cooking. I mean, I don't mind a cabbage steak, but it's not a steak, you know? Cabbage burger, I might come up with something. I might come up with something new, because we do like cabbage. Pumpkin pie, no. No, don't make my grandma got me a cake once, one of those Sara Lee cakes. Sara Lee coconut cake for my birthday, and I don't eat coconut. It's nasty. So I did not get cake for my birthday that year either. Law of Legitimate says I need you to talk to your boyfriend. You need to talk to your boyfriend. He needs to tell your mom, hey, she's not going to eat this crap. Interesting reply says yes, even after 5 years, my man handles everything to do with his mom, to be honest, and I do the same with my family. Well, I mean, it depends on the person. My my daughter-in-law can come and talk to me. It's fine. I'm not nearly as judgy as she thinks I am. She thinks I'm very judgy, and I'm not. I think she because her family is, which is sad. Monster at our door says nothing happy birthday about cabbage and pumpkin, right? Unless that's what you like. It's perfectly fine if that's what you love. Like my husband would rather have a pineapple pie than a cake, and that's fine. I want the cake. I want the cake. You make me a pumpkin pie for my birthday, I'm going to be very disappointed. But it better not be a coconut cake or a German chocolate cake because it has coconut, and I'm not going to eat it. Or carrot cake because it have the same has the same mouth feel. Unless I did find a carrot cake that um you puree the carrots, I might like that. That might be okay. I'll have to try that one. As long as it doesn't taste like pumpkin. Here's a good one that's out of the top from Babsarella. And it says, my in laws had learned my food preferences before hubby and I even got engaged, and that was after about 6 months together. She has no excuse after 8 years. Hopefully, your partner has enough of a spine to address the matter. It's his family, he should be handling it. I mean, I just wouldn't do it for my son in law's birthday last year, which is coming up pretty soon. Um, I made him a circus peanut pie. He likes circus peanuts. And I came across this recipe for circus peanut pie or circus peanut dessert or something. So I made him a circus peanut dessert. It was great. He loved it. That's how you handle an in-law's birthday. And for my daughter-in-law, everything's lemon. She loves lemon, so everything's lemon. I even made my best fudge recipe so far is the lemon one. I really lemon it up. She also likes my 1 year for Thanksgiving. Her birthday's around Thanksgiving, so I made a lemon strawberry uh, um, pavlova. Pavlova, by the way, sounds fancy. It's easy. It's tricky, but it's easy. It's tricky to get the bake on it right, but it's easy to make. Next, we have entitled parents. Entitled, my mom has started referring to my childhood as our journey together, and it gets visibly hurt when I won't back her up in front of her new family. My mom married when I was 19, right as I left for college, and her husband is genuinely a good person. Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that. That's way ahead of the curve. Have built something warm and stable together, and I have nothing against him or his side of the family. The problem is what my mom started doing at family gatherings over the past couple of years. She has developed this whole narrative about my childhood that she performs in front of her in laws, full of phrases like, we always make it work, and I make sure she's always felt supported, and the two of us were such a team. The version of my childhood in this story is unrecognizable to me. I was largely alone. I was overwhelmed and checked out for most of it. She was overwhelmed and checked out for most of it. And the person I am now is the result of a lot of quiet work I did on my own and later with an actual therapist. At her stepdaughter's birthday 2 months ago, she had a whole story about how she used to drive me to weekend art classes because she knew it was important to nurture that. There were no art classes. There was no driving. I stood there and nodded because I didn't know what else to do, with 12 people looking at me, waiting for me to confirm the memory. Afterward, I gently told her I don't remember things that way, and she got tearful and said I was rewriting history to hurt her, and that she did the best she could and deserved to be acknowledged for it. I don't doubt she did her best, but her best and the story she is telling now are two completely different things, and I'm tired of being the prop in a performance about childhood that didn't happen. She called my aunt last week to say that I had been cold to her lately and that she didn't understand why I was punishing her for her mistakes. She's already apologized for, which is its own thing because there has been no apology. Your mom is cray cray, clearly cray cray. Jane Q says, I agree. I would appear confused and say, art classes? You don't have to fully paint the truth, but let her know her embellishments won't be backed up by you. Yes, exactly. You do not have to stand by and let her lie because that's what she's doing. And trust me, been on your end of that before. Not with a parent, but with a step parent. Like, no, that's not how that happened, dude. Oh, somebody answered that one. Where do you keep my pictures? That's a good one. Call her out. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta find subtle ways to say that didn't happen. It'll come to you, but it has to be subtle. And it has to be, or you can ask questions, Socratic method. Mhm. Things you can get them in a hole really easily when they're lying like that. Inevitable Divide says, tell her gently that if she continues telling lies about your childhood, you will call her out in front of everyone and then do it. OP says, the warning first makes sense gently. The only part is I'm still wavering on, but I do want zero surprise if she tries it again in front of people. Sire, are we done yet? Says, just remind her that you're never going to start lying about anything. You're not going to become a liar for her. Exactly. Exactly. Don't let her lie in front of you and don't lie for her. Um, Urban Yeti says, call her out in public next time. Otherwise, she'll keep escalating her BS version of history and watch out for more gaslighting. OP says, if she does it again, I probably will. I keep trying to handle it quietly, but doing live versions of my childhood in front of people feels gross. I'm done co signing it. Good. Good. You shouldn't be co signing it. Um, Stryker says, call her out, but warn her first that you're going to call her out in public. She might back down before it goes any further. Yeah. You should say, you're not going to lie about my life anymore. Just warning you. Don't lie. Oh, she's making herself look good too. This is very self-serving. OP says that part I do like. A private warning for a fuse fair also makes it a lot harder for her to act blindsided if she does it again. Uh, a username by any other says answers if you get on okay with your new mom's husband, I maybe also privately talk to him. Frame it as being worried about your mom's memory slash brain health. As you've noticed, a lot of stories she's been telling about your childhood aren't true, and you're worried something is going on with her long term memory. You could even ask if she's noticed any changes into her behavior or misremembering things, just to get a gauge on which part of her memory feels most affected. It's a load of rubbish, but it saves the groundwork for you to be believed rather than have your mom just claim that you're lying or misremembering your own childhood. Editing to add, this can also cover you for your previous public agreements. You were worried and didn't want to make a scene in public and didn't know how to best handle your growing fears about her memory. Oh, that's good. That's real good. Sure, it might give in a way her an excuse, but it might also protect you in the meantime. Eyes peeled said tactical, both smart and diabolical. Next is oh no consequences. I changed an ingredient in this brownie recipe and it can't be my fault it got messed up. Oh, recipes are another one. Recipe reviews, we'll have to do those after we get done with the parks or something. 1 star. I followed the recipe exactly, except that I replaced oil with applesauce. Sometimes that can work out. Unfortunately, it did not turn out well. Its consistency is neither brownie nor cake-like, and I can't eat it. Sadly, I will have to dispose of the whole thing. I don't know what went wrong as I followed the recipe exactly. You didn't know. You didn't follow it directly because you substituted something that wasn't able to be substituted for this. uh, Wicked Fairy says, did this come from r/I didn't have eggs? And OP says, maybe it popped up on my Instagram feed. Aggravating Fix says, my family's made brownies with applesauce instead of oil for my entire life, and it's delicious. I think it's probably one of the substitute recommended in the fat is evil part of the 90s and early aughts. It is. We were substituting applesauce for all oil back then. I don't know what OP did because it's an easy one-to-one substitution. It turns out well. There's a gal on TikTok that does bad recipe reviews, and she's hilarious. You should check her out. Applesauce replaces eggs, not oil. That's not true. Bubblegum drops. I'm really trying to figure out what property of oil she thought the applesauce would replace if she didn't confuse the substitution. Toaster. Oil is a liquid. Applesauce is a liquid. Clearly, it's a fine substitution. Sometimes I'll use other liquids like Fresca or bleach. Science. All with the hair says it's a rare recipe that can't be improved by substituting piss. Oh, that's funny. I used onions instead of apples, and now my pie tastes terrible. This is cut from mildly infuriating, and it says, I think I was bit by a shark in my dream. I don't know how she did this, but I don't think she was bit by a shark. But that does look pretty gnarly. What did you do in your sleep, girl? Got up and started working on my laundry and felt an itch on my leg. It hurt, so I scratched and looked and saw this giant bruise. The only logical explanation is that I was bit by a shark in my dream and the realms crossed. Well, that's what when my husband got abducted by aliens. He had a little like triangle right here. I have pictures of it. Only explanation is he was abducted by aliens. What else would cause that? Every once in a while, I'll wake up with a bruise. You know, clearly an IV scar. Clearly abducted by aliens. Also, when those things happen, we sleep really good, because we ain't sleeping. We're on the alien ship. I'm just saying. What other explanation could there be? Fat Button says we need Dr. House. All we currently know is it probably isn't lupus. Shifted Soul says, real talk, you may have had a spasm in your leg and not realize it. My body does that sometimes, especially if I'm dreaming about running, jumping, or doing something forceful with my arms and legs. Is there anything around your bed that could match the shape of the bruise in any way? I've kicked the crap out of stuff around my bed while falling asleep in the middle of the night before. Maybe what happened. What do you have around your bed that you're kicking it in the middle of the night? How small is your bed? Large Dad says, once I was falling asleep with my fist under my chin, my arm twitched, and I punched myself awake. The body is so weird. It's so true. I once dislocated my shoulder in my sleep. I didn't even realize it was what it was until weeks later when I was going to sleep and I felt it move back into the socket. I was going to go to the doctor eventually. Didn't need to. Capicella says your leg fell outside the protection of his blanket to into no man's land. A dangling leg is a delicious treat for the nameless horrors that hide betwixt and between the midnight cracks. The nightmare in the closet, the boogeyman under the bed had complimentary nibble. That sounds terrifying. Stop it. Stop. Wang Yu Karen says, this is entitled. Actually, it's a title. A Karen just messaged me about not using the term Karen, which makes her a Karen. She didn't like that I complained about the local racism and the fact that our local sheriff's son is a registered sex offender, and thus explains why so many sex offenders don't seem to stay in jail for long here. And her, her name is actually Karen. Most Karens know that they're not Karens. Most Karens are very. This one, however, is a Karen. Karen, I don't know what it says today. Karen, would you please refrain from the Karen name calling? And the answer is common term used by many. It wasn't directed at you, or maybe it was. Breaking Case of Fab says you should have asked her what name she prefers since her name is literally Karen. And OP says it was a fascinating irony. Tycho says I would have asked if she wanted to speak to my manager. She probably would have reported me for hate speech. OP says this is actually common. They'll find a reason to tone police. This is what a Karen does. They can't defeat your points when then it's all, well, you can't say that. This woman can post about war but can't handle words. It really tells you what kind of people, really tells you that most of the people talking about war would never survive a war, and I'm saying that as a combat veteran myself. Well, I only talk about stopping wars because I know I don't want to be in a war. And I want other people to be in wars. Wars are terrible and they suck. Excuse me. Ezra Yim6 says, I'm using this general term to describe this a sort of person. If you think I'm referring specifically to you, then yes, I'm referring to you. OP says, exactly. If I mention peeping Tom and someone named Tom gets offended, then they're like a peeping Tom, then there's got to be millions of women named Karen out there. The fact that she got offended when people are making fun of my name my entire life tells me that Karen types typically have very thin skin. And it's amazing that she found it to be offensive, not the fact that the sheriff's son is a registered pedophile. Pretty telling. Trying to be good said, I'll stop it when you stop living it. Am I overreacting? AIO for getting out of his car and Ubering home after a message popped up on the dash. I, 20 female, have been with my boyfriend, 22 male, for about a year and a half. We live in the same city, and I'm at his place basically every night. I really thought we were on the same page about everything until last night. We were driving to get food, and his phone was plugged into the car for the GPS. A message popped up on the screen from a girl's name that I don't know, and it literally said, "Are you coming over later? I miss you." I just froze. I didn't yell, I just asked who that was, and he immediately ripped the cord out of his phone and acted super jumpy. He told me I misread it. Okay, so show it to me. Let me read it again. Let me read it again. If I misread it, let me read it again. Give me your phone. And it was actually a test from his sister about dinner. I told him his sister has a different name and he just started raising his voice that I'm paranoid and always looking for a reason to fight. Yeah, that's guilt. That's guilt. He wouldn't show me the phone and kept saying I was invading his privacy by staring at his screen while he was driving. Dude, no. He literally told me I'm being delusional and that my anxiety is ruining a good thing. I don't think so. I think he's cheating on you. Is there an update? Please tell me there's an update. I told him to pull over at a gas station and I got out and called an Uber because the gaslighting was making me feel like I was actually losing it. Now he's blowing up my phone saying I'm immature for jumping out of the car and that I'm too unstable to be in a relationship if I'm going to freak out about a random notification. Okay, then. Guess we're done. Why you keep calling me? He's making me feel like I'm the one who messed up, but I know what I saw. AIO, am I actually too much or is he obviously cheating? He's obviously cheating. He's obviously cheating, girl. You are not overreacting. You are underreacting. Positive Tonight says, you know the answer already. I'm very sorry. Don't waste more time on this person you already had. Annie Recognition says, yes, the biggest tell wasn't even the message. It was how fast he jumped to hiding the phone and attacking OP instead of just calmly explaining. People who aren't doing anything shady usually don't react like that. Exactly. Santh says, NOR, he's 100% cheating. He also filled my is he cheating bingo card. Immediately trying to hide it. It's my sister, mom, cousin. You're always trying to start fights. You're delusional, immature slash paranoid. You're ruining this relationship. Those are the. This guy's a weapons grade douchebag. Flinder Risk says, you forgot you're insane. Repeat 3 times before the summation. You're crazy. There must be a manual these guys learn from. Third Type Variety comment is from a deleted user. It says, if my girlfriend was so upset she bailed, I would be showing her my whole phone history. Yes, exactly. Just some guy says, not if you were doing the stuff he is, and deleted says, you don't know my kink. This from Server Life, and this is entitled, this guy insisted on getting a Modelo after server told him 4 times we were out. And this is the note. You know, they always have notes on these apparently. I don't know. I'm not a server. Haven't been one for years. Um, One Modelo, special prep bar. Just give me a Corona in the glass with a lime. They're confused. One berry crush. Oh, Hounded is the top rated comment, and they say there's a grocery store in the same shopping center as the restaurant I work at. If I had $1 for everyone time said, can't you just run over and get some? I'd retire. And go, oh, why can't you? If there's a grocery store right there, I seriously don't understand why. This is something you do for your customers. One time I wanted a banana split, and the restaurant didn't have bananas. I'm like, it's a Kroger, like right there. Like right there. You don't think they have any bananas at the Kroger? And no, I can't make a banana split on my own. I don't have the stuff. And if I did have the stuff, if I did buy all the stuff, I would have too much stuff. And then what am I going to do with the left? It's literally like not in my best interest to do that. Limbin is the second top rated comment, and they say, worked in a not high end restaurant, but it is a Mediterranean themed restaurant, not a dive bar. Can we get some shots? We don't really have a wide selection of spirits, but we have the basics. Are you thinking tequila, limoncello, sambuca? No, that one with the gold flakes in it. Oh, you're thinking of Goldschlager. We don't have that. Yes, you do. The last time I was here, that's what we had. Well, maybe we used to have it, but it's not something we've had in the last 3 years since I've worked there. 3 years. You've only worked here 3 years. I've been coming here for the last 20 years. Don't you try to tell me what you do and don't have here. You don't know anything. Oh, okay. Clearly it's been 3 years since you've been here, sir. 'Cause you don't know what we have. And B, I'm here every day. You're here what? Maybe once a week if you're lucky? No, you don't know. I know we don't have Goldschlager. You don't know crap, get me your manager. Oh, don't worry, that's exactly who I was going to get after the you don't know crap and before they would get your manager. Oh, what happened to table 34? Got kicked out. Awesome. I've literally had somebody tell me that. I've been I've been around here longer than you have. Yeah, but I'm here every day and you're not. That's what I wanted to say. Plus, I've read the rule book and I know you haven't. Sock set is the third top rated comment, and they say if a Red Fox wet boy can tell the difference between Modelo and Corona with a glass of lime, in a glass of lime, I will give you $100. Server made the right call. Hashpool says I got the taps switched on accident one time while cleaning the beer cooler, and I was selling Dos Ex as ultra, and no one said a word until the keg was empty, and that's when I found out. Because they can't tell. They can't tell. Next, we have Best of Redditor updates, and it is entitled, "He wants to call off my divorce because my cancer treat was successful." Cancer treatment was successful. It's so sad. And I swear we already read this one too. We may have. Oh, it's from Tear Off My Chest, so maybe we read this, but we're going to read it again under this one. Original post was in August 2022. No, we have not read this here. I've read this somewhere. I know this whole story. Probably read to me somewhere. Or I read it on Board Panda because I read about a bunch of them on there. I try to check now and make sure that they're not from this month. Oh no. Maybe. Okay. Let me check it because I swear we already read this one. And I just. That's not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Mm, hmm. Oh, I know. Was that originally posted in? Just. No, I can't find that. There it is. Not there. Sorry. This is bothering me because I know I read this bit somewhere. It's not there. There. No, I guess we haven't. Because it would have shown up by now. All right, tear off my chest. He wants to call off the divorce because my cancer treatment was successful. um, Originally posted in Tear Off My Chest is the best Redditor updates. Original post. No. It's like, yeah. We've definitely read this already because his name is highlighted and the posts are highlighted. All right, let's go find another one then. We had to have read it because, like, there's too much that's showing that I already that I already read it. Okay, here's a good one. Okay. This best of Redditor updates. I lost respect for my significant other after disgusting prank at work crossed the line. Keeping this vague for privacy. This is originally uh, just no SO and am I overreacting? Original post February 21st, 2026. Keeping this vague for privacy and throwaway account for obvious reasons. My significant other recently told me about a situation at her job. A coworker accidentally left behind a food item, and another coworker asked another coworker to drop it off at their house. Not that it really matters, but thankfully the food item was sealed and unopened. My so suggested dunking the item in a public restroom toilet as a joke before returning it. The other coworker actually did it, and the item was given back without the person knowing. Oh, you people are disgusting. Disgusting. My so told me this story like it was funny. I was disturbed. It feels immature at best and unethical at worst. Just because one technically likes this coworker doesn't mean uh, that doesn't justify doing what they did. Since starting this job, I feel like So's maturity level has regressed significantly. I'm losing respect and questioning our future over the shift I'm seeing. Am I overreacting to see this as a serious character issue? No, that's disgusting. Who wants to be with somebody like that? Who knows what they're doing to your toothbrush? What does he do to your toothbrush when you're not looking? Can you trust him? No. You can't trust this guy. uh, some of OOP's comments. OOP adds, apparently this coworker is secretly hated by everyone. That doesn't make it any better. That doesn't make it any better. It doesn't matter. I could never fathom doing that to anyone, no matter how much I didn't like them. Question: has he always had behavioral issues like this? She says it's annoying because he would always come home and tell me how immature all of the employees are, etc. But when he slowly started to show signs of the same immaturity he was describing, but this absolutely floored me and completely changed the way I view him as a person. Hence the username. This is not the person I married. Update post February 2nd, 2026, next day. Context: my cell gave a coworker the idea to dunk another employee's food in a public toilet as a prank. That's just so gross. Oh, ugh. Ugh. It was carried out, so thought it was funny. I'm disturbed by the ethics, the risk to his job, and what feels like a major decline in maturity since starting this job. We have children, and this behavior puts our financial stability at major risk. Yikes. Update: hours after calmly explaining how this behavior could affect our family, it was acknowledged. Then, hours later, they completely dismissed what I said and, in writing, sent a message to another coworker higher up than them about wanting to knock that same coworker's teeth out of their mouth. The immaturity is beyond repair. I plan on setting them down tonight and potentially discussing a trial separation until they can get their crap together. I'm officially done. Does he have a brain tumor? Does your husband have a brain tumor, OP? Just asking. Please make sure you don't. OP adds, what really sucks is that you can be with a person for years and you think you know everything is great, and then you have a kid and the crap goes sideways. Electric Cookie says, that's not a prank, that's poisoning. Exactly. A prank is cutting up an apple and sticking it in an orange peel. Dipping someone's food in toilet water is an act that can reasonably lead to sickness. It's a violation of someone's bodily autonomy. Do you want your children learning this inappropriate behavior? OOP says, not at all. That's where it needs to be consequences. I'm seriously reconsidering my life choices. Uh, so lost in here. Says, or he could be like me. It's not good either way, but before I learned to stop, I would desire friendship and camaraderie so much. I would become like the people who accepted me, even the awful ones. The difference here seems to be that they participated instead of standing by and letting it happen. I don't know. I just know the behavior is crap. OOP says, what helped you stop the behavior? I'm proud of you for realizing it and doing something to stop it. I am too. I am too so lost in here. Good on you for recognizing a behavior that's bad. The behavior is more than crap. It's embarrassing. We are well into our 30s, and you would think that having children with you need to provide for would be the forefront of all of your decisions, especially when you are in a professional setting. Honestly, the guy should be fired. That's ridiculous. Or at least the other guy should be fired for doing it. You can say something, but doing it is a whole different level. Squirrels are evil. Asked, are you going to report him to the coworker that was abused or to his company? OOP says, I'm seriously considering it after getting my finances in order. I'm morally outraged. Like the shock still hasn't worn off. Update 20 update post 2, February 22nd, 2026, 3 days later from OG post. Maybe we read this in February. Oh no, that was the other one. Never mind. We haven't read this one. No amount of calmly explaining or simply simplifying how inappropriate his behavior has been since starting this new job has made him understand. I had to be very blunt and direct. I had a very blunt and direct conversation with myself about how unacceptable his actions are at work. As expected, he deflected, made excuses. I shut that down immediately. For anyone who does not know the context, my so suggested to a coworker that they should dunk another coworker's sealed food item in public toilet. When I confronted him about how disgusting and serious that was, he doubled down and sent a written message joking about assaulting the same individual to his boss. His boss is equally immature, if not worse. Holy cow. The boss is okay with this? Are you kidding me? The excuses he gave. He was on the clock, but the coworker who actually tampered with the food was off the clock. So, that does not negate bodily harm at all. The coworker who followed through has a mental disability and took the joke too seriously. Why would you be suggesting inappropriate things to somebody who can't decide if something's inappropriate or not? The head boss talks like that all the time, so he didn't see the harm in doing the same. That's terrible. The coworker whose food was tampered with is an alleged drug user, so he feels no empathy toward him. Even drug users should have empathy. Maybe they should have more empathy because they're obviously self-medicating themselves and they obviously have problems. Other coworkers were suggesting ways to tamper with the food. Oh, that's terrible. None of that changes the fact that this happened at work. None of that changes the fact that he is the sole provider for our family and our children. None of it excuses risking our financial security over middle school level behavior. Since starting this job, his level of immaturity has come out of nowhere. What concerns me the most is that he does not fear consequences because he believes the coworker will never find out. There are ways. He does not believe there will be legal or professional repercussions. He does not know that when I am financially able to do, I plan to inform the employee about what happened. I've sacrificed everything to be a stay-at-home mother. I don't have my own. I do not have my own income. I do not have a village. So far, him to claim the weight of being the sole provider while actively putting our livelihood at risk feels like a slap in the face. My focus is on my children. I said what I need to say. What he chooses to do from there will determine his own future. I made it clear that this behavior is divorce worthy. I cannot leave immediately because I will not make my children homeless, but I am done tolerating this. I will find a way to create income and stability for myself one way or another. I'm done. OOP's comment, away bit says, been following this and I think it's on to the point where you need to consult a lawyer and not Reddit keyboard lawyers if this is true. OOP says, I'm hoping I can find a lawyer in my area that can give me a free consultation. Holy cow. Holy cow. That's horrible. I'm not even reading the comments because that's too much. It's too much. We all know. Dump him. Leave him. All right. We need a made me smile after that, do we not? Do we not need a made me smile after that? Because I do. Okay, this is entitled, oops, little guy's reaction when he discovers he's on camera. Little guy, he's so cute. Eating popcorn. computer? I don't think so. That's so cute. Oh, what a cutie pie. Jimmy 2 times says he was serious about that popcorn. And mustard covered dog says he got his priorities in order. Um, Bandwidth 1 mil karma says his popcorn consumption in meticulous order. I wonder what his criteria for picking what each one is. The drunken child says LMAO. He waves so nonchalantly like a celebrity who's done it a million times before. Okay, P says he just wanted to go back to his popcorn. Oh. Mammoth ad says popcorn container is bigger than a little guy. It's true. Little boy with giant popcorn. All right, that's all I have for today. I will be back tomorrow. I'm gonna go do a Plathville for you. So we'll have that. And tomorrow's gonna be the last day this week. So and until a week from Tuesday, I am going to do some I'm not taking the week off. I'm gonna do some other social media stuff. Try and get somebody on here to actually participate. This is a participation project, not a I'm talking to myself all the time project. All right. You all have a good day. I love you all my biddies. Have a good day. Love you all. Bye. Bye bye.